Everybody, welcome to Behind the Bar. I'm your host, Danny Johnson, where we get to know your favorite dry bar comedians. Behind the Bar is sponsored by RX Solutions. If you want up to 75% off your next prescription, go to rxsolutions.online. My guest today, the very funny Mark Evans, his dry bar special is called Southern Not Stupid. It's actually his brand, which I've known for years, and happy to have you on, and not only with your dry bar, but many other accomplishments over the years. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Love these things.
Yeah, this is fun. I like and here's what makes it more fun for me. I don't know. We've both been doing this a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And we may have met at the Jacksonville Comedy Zone a time or two or across paths, but I don't really recall. I
was trying to remember too. I figured I know you're in Jacksonville, and I figured it was up there at the Ramada at the Zone. I had to have at least that once or twice there.
Right. And then at some point during all of our careers, or most of our careers, we start featuring and headlining the same room, so we never see each other.
Exactly. When you're at the same level as other comics, as soon as you progress up, you meet a whole new group of people.
Right. And so it's nice to have you on. It's nice to get to talk to you because you're a Florida guy too, right?
I am now. We moved here last week. Marks 2 years.
And that's from Atlanta. What prompted you to move?
It's actually my wife retired, and we knew we couldn't afford beachfront, and we were watching Beachfront Bargain Hunt one night on HGTV, and they're showing canal homes. I'm like, whoa, those are affordable. So we're down here in Port Charlotte. You got to come down, man. We're living the dream. Our house is on a canal. We got the boat docked right in our backyard. We're 10 minutes from the harbor by boat.
Wow.
And there's a lot of work down here too. I still am working the road, but now that I'm getting older, I'm more appealing to all these 55 and ups.
Yeah.
Just litters through Florida. And there's, you've probably seen it too. At those places, they treat you better than they do at comedy clubs. The money's better. They treat you like rock stars.
The money's
exponentially better. Yeah.
Yeah, I do quite a few golf and country clubs and private engagements for different companies or whatnot. So, and that's what we can do is when you work clean or PG-13 or.
There's not many of us.
Yeah, you're right about that. I remember a booker called me years ago and booked me for something. I said, and he joked around. He said, whenever a potential customer or client calls me and asks for clean, I have you and one other person.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your dry bar special. I watched it, Southern Not Stupid, and I was familiar with your brand for years because I've either seen your posters somewhere I've been or going, or the Jacksonville Comedy's on site or whatever.
I've been shoving it down people's throats forever. That's what you got to do,
I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful brand. It's a very successful brand, and
if anybody's watching, they got can you see it?
Yeah. What a great. And that's sort of the theme throughout your, what I found funny throughout, the Southern Not Stupid is like not everybody from the South or in the South is stupid. And then you have a few jokes about making fun of some people from Alabama or Arkansas or something like that.
Oh yeah, I gotta be a level playing field because we've all got stupid.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. The South's got a lot of stupid people. We just don't have a monopoly on it.
Right. What was your thoughts on your special? I loved it. Audience, you had a great audience reaction.
Oh, thank you. I like what you were saying a second ago when we were talking before we edited or started recording. I've never liked any of my own videos.
Yeah.
But the experience was probably the best experience I ever had. And I'm in my 30th year now of comedy. And the way they treated us, I recorded in season 2. Okay. And back then, the money was a little better than it is now. Plus, they paid all your travel. They brought you out a day early. They put us up in a Marriott so we wouldn't be tired. We're in a Marriott for 2 nights. We did 2 40-minute shows as a co-headline. I was working with Jim McHugh out of Boston. Do you know him?
I don't know who that is.
He's the one that created the Boston Comedy Festival.
Oh, wow.
Way back. But it was we did an early show or a late show. Both of us did 40 minutes. Yep. And they between shows, we each had our own personal assistant. Have you ever had a personal assistant?
Not until I did my dry bar.
Okay, then you remember. The girl came up, she brought menus of every restaurant in town.
Yeah.
Says, what do you want for dinner? We'll go get it. And they just treated you great.
Yeah.
They very, very strict, as you know, on the
Sure.
material. Did they send you what year did you do it?
So mine was January 19. So I was like season 4. So I was just before they changed to the shorter sets.
Okay.
Like when they do
Did
now,
they,
they do
did they
like
did they pay your
redeployment.
travel and all that? I don't mean to
Yeah.
get into the money, but so
Oh,
you
yeah.
got there
Yeah.
because I was in 18. I guess I was in season 3. I thought I was season 2. But yeah, it was and I don't mean to downplay it, but apparently it's getting saturated. A lot of bookers aren't even considering it a great credit right now,
Right.
because they're letting a lot of features and openers go out there.
Yeah, they have to keep
But,
that new content. But you're right. We were treated like royalty. It was
yeah. Did
2
you get
40
that video, a 7-minute video called Provo Clean?
Yeah.
Did you get that? Jim McHugh didn't see it, or he didn't watch it, and he's not dirty. But there's remember there's clean comedy and there's Provo Clean.
Right.
I had one joke I may say a-hole or something a little harsher than that, but I changed it to jackass, and they went, "Oh, you can't say jackass." And I was like, "It's in the freaking Bible."
Right.
But yeah, they're extremely strict on that. But when I tell that to people, they would think that the producers and all those people were jerks or something. But my experience, they're the nicest people in the world.
For sure.
And they just have that's what they want. And I totally respect that. I've gotten a lot of work of it, like we talked about earlier, for years, because could do the clean stuff.
Yeah. And especially having those dry bar clips, the quality that they publish on social media, you just, just snag it from
There's a
YouTube.
5-camera shoot.
Yeah.
And 3 static cameras and 2 mobile. In fact, on my Facebook page, my cover photo, Jim McHugh took the picture of the did you ever go back and look at the production booth?
Yes.
Right back there. You'll see that, and you recognize with all the different angles and all the different camera views going on.
Okay.
It was like a regular television studio they'd changed that place into.
Yeah, I didn't know about the moving cameras until I was on stage doing my show.
Oh, yeah.
They're on like railroad tracks in the back of the room.
Oh,
right?
We had guys carrying it.
Okay.
We didn't have the moving ones then. We just had the guys. Well, they had one static was doing that. I guess it really wasn't a static, but they had 2 guys just carrying cameras around the audience.
Yeah, one came like right up front in front of the front row. I was like, geez,
yeah,
I'm not used to this. I'm not. But I found that, and I like the way that and hopefully they did this with you too. They gave you a little piece of paper which says, give us feedback on your set.
Yeah. What you would want and for them to use and all that. And I just told them, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And whatever you guys want to do, I'm just thrilled to be here.
Because ultimately they are anyway, right?
Yeah, true.
Because it does say these are what you're making are suggestions. We'll ultimately make the call.
I kind of thought I was being tested a little bit when I saw that, so I didn't want to cross any paths or anything. I just said, and I still felt that way. I just, whatever y'all want, it's your gig.
I had 9 days. I got booked 9 days before my special. I didn't know I had it. I just got a call. I had been in touch with them, and they said yes. And then I guess they had a fallout, so they needed somebody and I talked to one of the bookers, and he's like, can you be in Provo in 10 days? I was like, wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Well, they're paying they bought the ticket.
Oh yeah, they did everything. Yeah. I had to buy a winter jacket. I don't own a winter jacket living in Florida because it was snow, it was January in Provo.
I got mine, Chuck Johnson, Summit Comedy.
Yeah.
He's the one that booked me out there.
Yeah.
And I had never even heard of it. And that was like in 18, I guess they were saying. And money was great. I had no idea what it was and what it was going to become.
Do you follow any of the comments or on anything YouTube? Because it's on everything now. They published it on Amazon, Apple, Google.
Yeah.
But when it first came out, it was social media. And did you follow any of the comments or make any?
I did, and it was it's so you get like 50 good comics and then one guy that hates you, and that's all you can think about.
Yeah.
uh,
Same.
and like on my closing bit, one of the things I do is about changing people's mailing address.
Yes.
They somebody jumped in and who didn't have a sense of humor and was telling me how wrong that was and how illegal it was and all that. And I actually say that.
Yeah, you say it's a felony.
Yeah,
You say something like one you can do that's not a felony.
yeah. And I refer back to that. And well, the people from Dry Bar jumped in on the comments.
Wow.
And said, hey, he addressed that.
Yeah.
Like, there you go, guys. Thanks a lot.
I had again, same thing as you. Positive comment, like, love, laugh, and then that one person, jumped in, commented about my weight or something like that, and I was
Oh
like,
God.
and then luckily the other fans, the Dry Bar fans, jumped in and attacked him, so I didn't even have to say anything.
Oh, that's even better. You don't.
Yeah, that's the best.
I got lucky too because I had I'm on 2 compilation videos where like I did about 5 minutes about working cruise ships.
Yeah.
And they did one where there's about 8 or 9 of us doing cruise ship material.
Yeah.
So I got on that one, which I'm hoping counts towards my clicks that we need.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. It was a 30-40 minute one, maybe even longer than that. It was a compilation of people getting even with people, and my whole closing bit about getting back at people, I was put on second to last, so I was kind of flattered.
Yeah,
they liked to almost close the thing with me, and that was just one I found out because when you first got released, they started sending you your that's when you get all your hits for the most part, unless you're somebody that gets really popular.
Yeah, you have to hopefully when they publish a clip, you got to promote it, and hopefully it does well, because that quarter may be light, on the.
When I was out there, we had a whole different deal than it is now. And what did you have? We had it where back then you could either rent the video for 99 cents or buy it for $10, and we would get 45% or something of that after it covered your cost of production cost. And now that deal's not there anymore because they had changed it to just by number of clicks or something. Or no, it was the people that would subscribe to the thing. And I was like, well, I'm never going to see any money there because they gave you that code. It's your name with no spaces, lowercase, to give somebody a free month. I still give that out to people. Just here.
Sure. Yeah, there's different kinds, like sharing in the Facebook and YouTube revenue, ad revenue, some sort of brand bonus, or I forget what it's.
Yeah. But I think since they put it on all those different TV stations or internet TV stations, I think it's just now based on views. I get a quarterly report, and I'm almost halfway to covering my production costs, where I may actually see a check someday.
Yeah. Well, it'll happen, and that's forever. That's and now I see people doing two special, doing their second special. They're kind of, I guess the more
popular guys ones. In the early days, who really hit big. I talked to a couple of people that, when I was out there, my season, there was about 80 of us, I think, in the 2018 season, and they only released about 8 videos, and I wasn't in it, and I had pretty much given up. And then about a year or two later, I got the email from them saying, "Hey, great news, we're releasing your video."
Wow.
But by then, my contract was kind of void because there's a different situation, but they just grandfather me, and they just moved me over or something. I've never signed anything, but like I said, if I get enough hits, I'll see some money. If not, it's still one of the greatest experiences I ever had.
For sure. And then the night itself paid well.
Yeah, it sure did.
And there's some guys out there that have filmed and never been published. I don't know what happened there, but I think I would do it again. What's that?
They made you think that everything was going to be published. Do you remember they would have they filmed these little commercial clips where you were pointing down saying, click here to tip me and click here to buy it and all that, just in case they were going to use you, because they really made you think that everybody there was going to get on. And I knew one guy who got really, really bitter about the fact that he was never on. And because of the way they made you feel when you were there. And I was like, step back a minute. It was a great experience. The money was great.
For sure.
And if if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's still you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience for the day or day, 2 days, and you get, I mean, it's the entertainment industry. They may or may not use you. How many times, I don't know if you do commercials or, acting stuff, or we both know a ton of comedian actors that are in something, talk about it, and then it ends up being cut.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so they were in 4 scenes and they're in a half a scene now. So it's like the decision's made well after everything's recorded. So I don't know why people would be so bitter. So you mentioned cruise work. How do you like that? Are you still doing that?
I haven't done that in a while, but when it came back, I haven't done it since the pandemic ended. And I didn't really want to until it loosens up more, because the restrictions were crazy. They put you on a boat instead of when I was working, I would only go out for about a week at a time, but they'd make you sign on 4 to 6 weeks, and you could never get off the ship, even in a US port. You were quarantined.
Oh.
And you could just couldn't move around the ship very much either. I mean, it was it suddenly wasn't that great gig that it used to be.
Do you work for multiple? Like multiple?
I worked for Carnival mostly, and there was another little piece of junk cruise ship down out of West Palm that all it would do is go from West Palm to Freeport and back. And this is a ship that I can talk about it because they don't exist anymore. They would have the buffet, which was okay. Then they had 6 restaurants that you all had to pay for, and then my show, they charged for my show, and it was always on the last night of the cruise at 11 o'clock at night, and they couldn't understand why people weren't paying $20 to go at 11 o'clock at night when their vacations got to get up and go home the next morning.
Yeah, how stupid is that?
Oh, it was horrible. We kept trying to tell them, says let them in for free and then do a 2-drink minimum. You'll make a lot more money. That's the cruise line that is now Margaritaville boat.
Oh, okay.
You've seen the commercials of Jimmy Buffett's.
Yeah.
That's the ship, and that's the cruise line. So now I hope they did a facelift to those boats they're on. I'm sure they did, at least painted it with some logos or something. But
yeah. I'm sure you and I have plenty of stories about what we've done in the past as far as gigs or whatnot. So I was reading a little bit about you, and at some point in your career, you did some audience warm up. How did you like that?
I wish I'd done it more, so I could have gotten better at it, because it's great work if you can get it. I've done it for a few infomercials, and then the Paula Dean, remember her?
Yeah.
She had an internet show that went up, and the producer hated me. I don't know why. He just didn't like me. I mean, when we first met, he had a scowl, and he just didn't like me. But that was kind of a tough one too, because everybody, including the audience, that showed up at 7 a.m. and they did it at her house out on Tybee Island near Savannah.
Yeah.
And they had this huge house there on the water. And on the first night, the first morning, Paula had been out mullet fishing real late the night before with her family and decided to sleep in. So it was 11 o'clock, and we were still, the whole production crew, the audience, everybody is sitting downstairs until she had decided to come down. And that's kind of hard to do, keep a warm up going for 4 hours.
Man, I can't imagine.
But the other ones I did, the Juice Man was the very first one I ever did. That 70-year-old guy that beat leukemia by juicing.
Yeah.
He was the very first guy. Those were fun, and there's the ones that I've known some people that's had warm-ups for like the Drew Carey show and things like that.
Yeah,
they paid great, and it was like just a great, steady, stay-at-home job for comedy. That
I know a few comics that do warm-up for the Huckabee show. Remember the former presidential candidate Huckabee?
Yeah.
Governor Huckabee. He has a talk show. I think it's on Fox Business, or may have moved to TBN.
Oh, okay.
It's out of Nashville, so I know a few people that did. And the pay's great, and it's
and they do a comedy warm-up.
Yeah, because they
Great
have
idea.
comedians on that show. It's like a regular.
Oh, okay.
It's like a regular talk show, like you would see like a Fallon or Letterman or whatever. That's the style of show. So
Okay.
they do warm up for them, and that it pays much more than a comedy club. Are you
Yeah.
finding? So we talked a little bit about this. I'm finding I'm doing way more golf and country clubs, 55 and older communities, private shows than comedy clubs, and I never thought that would be the case early in my career. Are you finding the same thing?
Well, and that's by choice. I'm finding it
Yeah.
too. Um, well, also living in Atlanta, there wasn't a lot of 55 and ups,
Right.
and there were country clubs, but not enough to keep your schedule full.
Right.
But down here, there's just so many of them, and I mean, I've even done RV parks.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, those have been very, very good.
Is that an outdoor show?
Sometimes, there was one at up near Sarasota. Uh, they had a little tiki hut and a pool that was set up for the grounds where everybody could park their RV,
Right.
and it was kind of under the tiki hut. It was everything bad about setting up for a show, but it worked out great. Outdoors. It was at 2 p.m, but these
Right.
people were on vacation, so half of them were half drunk, which
Yeah.
is but still daylight. But they were not very conducive to doing a live theater type performance in a tiki hut that's outdoors. You know how
Yeah.
that is. We did one down in the Keys. My wife has been opening for me for the last 4 or 5 years. And that was just one of the greatest experiences ever. I mean, we kind of were in a little lean-to tiki hut again on the beach. And just as the show started, a windstorm kicked in. So you had to cover up the microphone so you could actually be heard without just all the wind. But the people had a great time. And it I just love doing those things.
Yeah.
You're appreciated more. The money's great.
It's funny when I talk to someone who's interested in potentially hiring me for their event, I feel like they read a pamphlet titled "How Not to Set Up a Show to Be Successful." It's like I tell them it's simple. I need a microphone and everyone's undivided attention. That's it.
Yeah. I had one of them where they set me up with a podium with a gooseneck microphone. Have you ever had that? I said, I need 5 minutes to uncoil the mic and throw the gooseneck away. And the mic cord was only about 4 or 5 feet long, but at least I'll stand there with it.
I mean, there's so many that are like, we're gonna bring you up as they get dinner served to them.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then they go, we're gonna also keep the college football games on.
Of course.
I was like, why don't you just have like fire jugglers on a unicycles in front of me while I try to tell jokes?
Or we're going to put you way over here at the other end of the dance floor, and then the seats will be 50 feet away.
Yeah.
But you love that one, the comedy moat that they form.
It's like if somebody was going to attack you, it would take 4 minutes for them to reach you.
Yeah. We had on the show we did on the Queen Mary out in Long Beach. It was theater seating. They didn't have tables, just rows and rows of chairs. And the owner of the club was taking the tickets, and he actually had one of the local comics there to help seat the room. Only he wasn't seating anybody. They just let them sit where they wanted. So naturally, the first 3 rows are empty. Yeah. And I even asked him. I said, "Man, why don't you fill the rows up? You got somebody." He goes, "We know what we're doing." I was like, "I'm sorry, I'll shut up." Well, right before the show started, the first 3 rows are empty. The owner and his little local comic helper scooped up all 3 rows of empty seats, and the stage was on wheels. Pushed the stage up to the audience. I was like, okay, I bow to the master. You guys know what you're doing.
Wow. That's hilarious. I bet you those people in the 4th row were like, oh God. Oh God.
Yeah. I had something up your way, up in St. Augustine, a Christmas party. I don't remember what the name of the hotel was, but it was the Ritz-Carlton of the St. Augustine hotels.
Okay.
So it was a very high-end Christmas party. It was a medical equipment supplying company. Right. And these 2 brothers owned it. And it was really, really sad because 9 days before the show, their mother died. Oof. And it wasn't such a big company where everybody in the company sort of knew the mother, because I guess they might have, maybe she found it, I don't know, but it was tight enough company. So these guys up there opening the party, and they start kind of losing it. So their wives go up to join them, and the wives start losing it. And now the wives are ugly crying. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
And they finally finish it up, and they, through the choking and all that, they go, "Here's your comedian."
Right. And now the comedic stylings of Mark Evans.
We've all had those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I did a Christmas party once at the Omni Hotel in downtown Jacksonville. Beautiful hotel for this very famous car dealership in the area. And they said there's going to be 4 open bars in the corner, a silent auction out front in the lobby, and then the dining area set up for the show. They go, just go up to the DJ. I talked to the lady out in the lobby. She goes, just go to the DJ. He's going to announce you. I go, great. I go, hey, to the DJ. I'm like, do you want to wait till there's nobody at the tables? There's a line at all 4 of the bars, and then 75 people at the silent auction outside, and a table of 4 to my left. This is a place that holds 500. And he goes, no, they want you to do it now. I was scheduled to do 30 minutes. He introduces me. I do about 12 minutes, and I get 4 people chuckling. The owner then comes in, sits down with an executive, starts talking to each other. I do another 4 minutes. I think I did a total of 16 minutes. I said, thank you, good night. I walk out to the lobby. She goes, how did it go? And I'm like, great. She goes, here's your check. And I just, that was the first and only gig that I've ever done where, I kid you not, if there was a survey, was there a comedian at the Christmas party? The answer would be a resounding no.
That was one up your way, up in Jacksonville. I did. There was a pro wrestler that had a big heart and wanted to do a charity for. It was about something for kids. So
Right.
he had this thing at his property, big, huge property, just a big kegger. And they went to raves to hand out free passes to come to this fundraiser.
Wow.
So there was about, I don't know, 1,500 kids that were barely old enough to drink, that were hammered. And they had these 2 people with flaming nunchucks at the pool. And they went from that to me.
I can't. I would have told them, look, I can't beat the flaming. Why don't you just let them go on for another 20 minutes or whatever. Although, some of those gigs where I know it's going to be really tough, I've been pretty successful with negotiating with them about what I need, and plus maybe reducing my time a little bit, saving them a little bit of money. If they're dead set on sticking with me doing jokes on a stage outside while the band's playing 2 feet from me, like, all right, I'll do 30 instead of 60 and save you a little bit of, but it has to be an attentive audience, and that's it. That's all I need at this point. All you and I need at this point.
Oh, well, when I get there, I'll tell them, I said, look, you own me for the night. We don't have to do it right now. We can do it later on or something like that.
Right.
And they got this mindset of how it goes. And I'm going, I just want it to be good for you. I want to earn my money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was in Sarasota. There was a one I did a year ago for a bunch of newspaper company that own, all these people own these newspapers. They had their big meeting,
Right.
and they've been together all day at all these different events, and then they're having the awards ceremony, and then me. And I was begging them, let me go on before the awards ceremony, and they're going, no, they're going to hang around. I went, no, they're not.
No.
And sure, actually, it was kind of funny too. They asked me, said, would you mind giving out the awards? And I went, no, I'm there. I'll do that. And then they sent me a 23-page script.
Oh,
and I wrote back and went, this is beyond the bid I made for this job. So they doubled my pay.
Oh, wow.
And so it was great on there. And then I told them, that's why I was begging them, let me do my set before the awards. And she's like, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I said, these people have been attending things for 8, 9, 10 hours. Yeah. I know how to do this. And sure enough, as soon as the last award gave out, at least half the room was just gone.
Yep.
And I looked over at her, shrugged my shoulders, and started my set.
Yeah, they don't trust a lot of these folks, and they're not even, whatever man or woman's organizing this thing. It's not even that they're necessarily an event planner. It's just like Tim from accounting.
Yeah,
put in charge of this event, and he's trying to. I'm like, look, I could tell you how this could be successful, and to make you look good too, not just that, to make the whole
Yeah.
event so bizarre sometimes. One guy was like, "Why don't you? We're gonna put you on um right when dinner's served." And I convinced him, no, let's do it after. And he goes, "Okay, great. Right as dinner's ending, why don't you dress up as a waiter? They don't know a
Oh
comedian's
God.
coming, and I'll bump into you, and you spill the waters all over the place, and then I hand you the microphone, and you start telling your jokes." I'm like, or we could just tell them a comedian's coming, and then you can introduce me as that. That would be great.
Oh, you say, well, we got to put in add something to the check for me being a actor as well as a comic
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's what they was a hazard pay. What do they keep adding on stuff on?
Yeah. Oh, the one time at Carnival, this is about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, these middle management people that are always trying to come up with ideas to, I guess, give some self-value to their job. And
Yeah,
they see how much they're paying the comics and how little they were doing. And I was like, well, first of all, you come up and entertain 3,000
sure.
people. If you can do it, then we'll talk. But so they had the three really, really bad ideas they came up with. Was one was the, and I didn't mind this so much, was the brunch shows. And that was the two comics would show up and at 10, 11, 12, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon would do 5 minutes in the dining room where they're serving brunch. And that was a dining room we weren't normally allowed to go to. So I didn't mind it. I go in, order this big fruit platter, then have filet and eggs for lunch. and we just
Yeah,
hung out all day. And I would get up and do a couple of street jokes
yeah.
for 5 minutes because nobody was listening anyway. But that was something they finally got rid of. The second worst idea they had was have the comics go up when the buffet lines were long and work the lines. And that would work if you were doing close-up magic or something, but
Right.
that was something that they nixed. And then the gold medal of bad ideas was to have the comics deliver room service and entertain them. Like we bust in their room when they're not dressed to go out and start doing a show and go, hey, anybody in here from out of town?
Right.
So
You
those
guys,
got
you guys,
shot
you guys
down.
come here often?
Yeah.
Hey, you can eat their meal and deliver it to them. Like, hey, joke's on you. You know how many food?
At that point, though, they're going, well, then what's special about us being on that stage? And if you're basically putting waiters up on stage, takes away all the glitz.
Yeah, that rubs me, man, when people say when that analysis goes on, that how much you're getting paid versus how little amount of time you're doing. It took 5 years for this joke to work, sir. Do you want to try it on stage? You know what I mean? Like, it's the years we put together, it took to put together these jokes and shows, different kinds of shows, variety of shows, moving material around, creating new material. That's what you're paying for.
Well, something you mentioned before, I would never do when you go to take less money for a shorter show.
Right.
I said, I'm paid, whether I'll do 15 minutes or an hour, that's easy. It's getting there. It was the drive. It was the travel.
Gotcha.
It was the years of development and all that. That's what you're paying us for.
Yeah.
If we, how it is, we'd find a way to get on stage. If there was no more comedy clubs or any work, we'd find a way to go do this because we love doing it.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're paid for. We're paid for everything leading up to it.
Yeah.
And afterwards in the crappy hotel they put us in.
Oh my gosh, we could go on forever.
Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast on its own about the hotels they put entertainers in sometimes.
Did you ever work Johnson City for the Zone?
Yeah.
That Holiday Inn, that actually was a nice hotel.
Right.
That is only 6th-floor building in town. Well, there was a night that I get this phone call at 3 a.m. on not my cell phone, but the room phone, which is weird because nobody ever calls you on the room phone anymore.
Right.
And it was the lieutenant of the police department telling me to evacuate the room and come downstairs. And I thought it was the other comic. And I just said, blah, blah, F you.
Right.
It's real funny. Hung up. It rings back and goes, this is Lieutenant so whatever. So I hung up and called the front desk and she's just freaking out. She's going, yes, come down. So I go out in the hall. There's like 50 people out in the hallway. And so we all go downstairs and what had happened, and this guy actually checked into the hotel right in front of me. So I remember him. This guy kills his wife and the guy's cheating. on him, and then comes and checks into the hotel. So now they're evacuating everybody, and the SWAT team came in, and all of a sudden, while we're sitting down in the club area at like 5 or 6 in the morning, there's this rumble, and all the lights go on and off. And next thing you know, you see the SWAT team coming out, and these guys were in full military armor. They blew the door off the room, and the guy kills himself. Ooh. And so now they're wheeling out this dead body.
Right.
And, and you just don't get that from cable TV all the time. You got to be there to see that stuff.
I take it the Holiday Inn Express won't be using that in their
it's out of their commercial.
Right. Murderers prefer the comfort of a Holiday Inn Express.
Came here first.
That's right. The SWAT team. Oh gosh. But look, man, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, getting to know you. Your Dry Bar special, Southern Not Stupid, is available on almost every platform you could think of. Your website
I got real lucky too. This club, I got to get you hooked up with this guy who it's a fairly new club in the last couple of years up in near Cleveland. He was turning on the TV sets at the club, just pre-show or pre-opening, and there I was on one of the channels they planned doing the YouTube. So he took a picture of it and posted it. And definitely, he's always asking for people from different places. He's a good guy.
Once we're done recording here, hang on, we can chat a little bit. I'll take that. But
all the comics watching are going to be pissed because we're not.
Let's not do it on the recording. We'll wait till after. But your website is southernnotstupid.com as well. You can look at clips, tour dates, merchandise, so on and so forth. It's really been a pleasure, man. And
that's all mine, man. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and hopefully we can do this again. And I hope our paths cross in the future. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, seriously, we call it the Key West Suite here. We call our house Mark and Laurieville because I'm a big Buffett fan, and I'm trying to get my wife to change her name from Lori to Rita. Mark and Ritaville. But I'm serious. Come down. It's a little getaway.
I might take you up on that.
Please do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If you want to hang on a second here, we'll chit chat, but enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.